Ele é acusado de ser um líder radical de uma seita de fanáticos da tecnologia.
We are becoming more godlike by growing in these ways of having greater knowledge, greater creativity, greater intelligence.
Mas na juventude ganhou o respeito e a amizade de Stevie Wonder ao inventar um aparelho capaz de ajudar deficientes visuais.
For the first time, a blind person will be able to read.
Famoso por suas criações e uma maneira peculiar de pensar, Ray Kurzweil dirige uma universidade fundada em parceria com a Google e a NASA. O objetivo é ensinar pessoas a pensar de forma criativa e diferente,
And turn it into a physical object.
com disciplinas capazes de unir definitivamente homens e máquinas. O Globo News Ciência e Tecnologia está só começando.
Good morning, sir. Yet another on-time delivery from...
Get the hell out of my face, Scanner.
Have a nice day.
Homem ou máquina? Quem é mais inteligente? Qual dos dois lados vai vencer a grande batalha do futuro? O mundo da ficção científica está cheio de histórias em que máquinas e homens entram em conflito. Sempre num cenário centenas de anos à frente da nossa realidade. O americano Ray Kurzweil pensa diferente. Acha que homens e máquinas vão trabalhar juntos. Mais do que isso, vão se tornar uma coisa só, num evento chamado singularidade. O ponto de fusão está perto de acontecer, antes da metade deste século. Kurzweil não chuta previsões, faz cálculos matemáticos e costuma acertar quase tudo. Inventor precoce, ficou famoso por criar o reconhecimento óptico, de voz e o teclado eletrônico. Ao inventar tecnologias para ajudar pessoas cegas, ganhou a admiração do astro Stevie Wonder.
It was an amazing experience.
Aos 64 anos de idade, Kurzweil diz que está se reprogramando biologicamente. Toma dezenas de comprimidos por dia. Tudo para estar vivo no dia em que puder transferir sua mente para uma máquina e, a partir daí, viver para sempre.
That is several decades away. I've said 2045 for the singularity. But the trajectory to get there is definitely well underway. We can see how much the world has changed. I can take a device out of my pocket and access all of human knowledge with a few keystrokes. That would have seemed unbelievable 20 years ago, and yet we take it for granted today. Many things have changed and are going to pick up speed. So we're on the trajectory to getting there. We've already multiplied our intelligence. I mean, I'm smarter than I used to be because I can, use all of these, brain extenders. It's not inside my body and brain yet. That will happen. I think that's an arbitrary distinction. The important thing is that we have expanded our capability.
A evolução biológica darwiniana morreu. Estamos criando uma nova espécie humana?
There is biological evolution of human beings, but it's completely irrelevant. Technological evolution is so much faster. And ultimately, we are actually recreating who we are. We're learning how the human brain works. I have a book that's coming out about that. We can actually describe how the neocortex is able to think. We'll be able to create synthetic neocortexes, actually expand the size of our brains by expanding it into a synthetic neocortex and make our brains bigger. I mean, that's where we're headed. And our ability to do that is much faster than biological evolution.
What is singularity?
Singularity is a future period in which technological change will be so rapid and its impact so profound that every aspect of human life will be irreversibly transformed.
Quando a singularidade acontecer, ela vai ser pacífica, nós vamos conseguir manter o controle ou as máquinas vão nos dominar?
Well, I don't think the danger is so much humans versus machines, because it's not going to be a clear distinction. You're not going to be able to walk in a room and say, okay, computers on the left side, humans on the right. It's going to be all mixed up. Already we have humans with computers inside our bodies and brains. That's going to become very common. Go out to 2030s, everybody's going to have computers inside their bodies and brains. Everybody's going to be partly a machine. But I'm not, mine is not a utopian vision. I'm not predicting the end of conflict. We have conflict today of different groups of humans, each of whom is enhanced by their machines. I mean, if you look at militaries today, they have very intelligent tools, cruise missiles and flying machines that use their artificial intelligence, and we're certainly using our intelligence to enhance our war-making capabilities, and you have both sides using that. So you continue to have conflict, but both sides are enhancing their capabilities with intelligence.
Entre os motores dessa aceleração estão a robótica, a inteligência artificial e a genética. Qual desses setores está mais evoluído hoje?
Well, there are three grand revolutions, all of which represent information technology. Sometimes they go by the letters G and R. G for genetics, another word for that is biotechnology. Being able to reprogram our biology as if it were software. Then there's nanotechnology, basically reprogramming matter and energy as if it were software, creating new materials that are intelligent, being able to create devices at the molecular level. R stands for robotics or robots, but it includes the idea of artificial intelligence. These are more and more powerful. The most powerful is artificial intelligence. However, they're occurring in the order that I said. Biotechnology is happening right now. We can reprogram your body right now. We can turn off genes with RNA interference. We can add new genes. We can reprogram stem cells to regrow organs. If you damage your heart in a heart attack, you can actually fix that now with stem cell therapy. So that's happening already. Nanotechnology, really being able to create, physical devices at the level of molecules, it's still maybe 15, 20 years away. Full artificial intelligence, we have intelligent machines that do specific things, but artificial intelligence at the broad, flexible human level is, I've been predicting 2029, so that's a little bit less than 20 years. I think we're still on that trajectory. That's the most powerful revolution. If we can amplify our intelligence, we can be better at solving problems. Intelligence is the most powerful force in the universe.
Painted picture. The uncertainty of exploration.
Well, probably the invention that I'm most proud of is the reading machine for the blind. What's exciting to an inventor is actually seeing your technology used by people and having it make a difference in their lives. Not just giving a demonstration that looks interesting, but actually people use it, not because they're told to, but because they really see a benefit. And so all the thousands of letters I've gotten from blind people saying they couldn't have gotten their education or held their job without my technology, that's been extremely gratifying. Maybe the technology that most people have used that know me because of the technology is the music technology. There are probably millions of people that have had some contact with kurzweil music, keyboards, and but in general, technologies that have an impact on people's lives is what's most exciting, and those are the kinds of projects that I'm attracted to.
O senhor continua tomando dezenas de pílulas por dia? Está funcionando?
So far, so good. I take about 150 pills a day, down from 250, because I've found more effective ways to administer these supplements. It's actually a very conservative program. I don't take anything that's speculative. There are some things like human growth hormone that some people believe in, but it's controversial, and I don't do that. I do things that actually have a lot of scientific evidence. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 30 years ago. I've had no indication of type 2 diabetes for almost 25 years because of my program.
Where do you find that substance?
Well, I sell it actually. I have a health longevity supplement company.
I want to live as long as I can.
I don't want to die. If following Ray's regimen would put that day off, I'm very willing to do that.
I would have gotten heart disease because I have the genetic disposition to heart disease. If I didn't do anything, I would have a cholesterol of 280, but my cholesterol is under 100. All my levels are very good. So, I mean, not only am I healthy, but I measure lots of things in my body, and they're all at ideal levels. I'm constantly fine-tuning my program, but it's working.
How often do you get that done?
I usually test my blood every few months, 3 months maybe. You need to use your body, otherwise your body will decay. The same thing is true of your mind. Not only does your brain create your thoughts, but your thoughts create your brain. And we can actually see that on brain scans. You're actually creating the connections inside your mind with your thoughts. And so keeping your mind busy, thinking about things that are stimulating and that you're passionate about is the best way to preserve the health of your mind.
100 bilhões de neurônios. Essa é a quantidade de células especializadas que formam o nosso cérebro. Elas se comunicam numa velocidade incrível, comandam nossos movimentos, são responsáveis pela consciência e toda a percepção que temos do mundo. O cérebro é uma fantástica máquina biológica. Mas com tantos avanços tecnológicos, será que um dia vamos poder transferir nossa mente, fazer um download para um equipamento digital?
I think we'll get to a point where we can live indefinitely and also expand our longevity by more time than is going by. And I think that's only about 15 years away. So people say, well, how long do you think you'll live based on what you're doing now? It's the wrong question, because you could do a statistical analysis looking backwards, assuming that nothing is going to change, but that's a wrong assumption, because the knowledge and technology we have is growing exponentially. The power of the technologies to make ourselves healthier is doubling in power every year. These technologies will be 1,000 times more powerful in 10 years, 1,000,000 times more powerful in 20 years, because they're growing exponentially. So you can't just do a statistical analysis looking backwards as if nothing is going to change. So we'll get to a point where we're adding more time than is going by. It's still not a guarantee, but it really will change the metaphor of the sands of time running out. They'll start to run in.
Se você fosse imortal, como é que você usaria todo esse tempo livre?
Well, I like what I'm doing now, which is being creative and trying to create new knowledge and create new technology and also science, and I like to write. I majored in MIT in computer science and creative writing, and I've written 8 books, and I enjoy being creative in that way. And it's not a thrill every minute. I mean, in fact, most of the time, trying to be creative is a struggle, and it's difficult and it's frustrating. But then you have a moment where you solve a problem and you can write something that you really feel expresses your ideas, or you solve a scientific problem that allows an invention to take place. And that's a thrill, and we live for those sort of thrills that happen once in a while.
Mas você acredita que nós vamos poder viver para sempre como uma ideia, como programa de computador?
Well, I think we are basically software. We basically are information. If you look at our brain, it is basically a software process. It doesn't run on, a plastic computer or a silicon computer, but it is a information processing organ. And in fact, our whole body is processing information. That's what biotechnology is all about, to learn how that works. Ultimately, we can find more durable substrates for our body and our brain, because as amazing as biology is, it's full of problems and limitations, and we've been fixing those. I mean, if we did nothing about it, life expectancy would be 20. That's what it was 1,000 years ago. It was 37 200 years ago. It was 48 in 1900. Now it's pushing 80. So we're making progress. That's going to go into high gear as we can really treat biology as the software that it really is. And we have the tools of changing that software. I mean, how long do you go without changing the software in your cell phone? It's probably updating itself right now. But I'm walking around with outdated software that evolved thousands of years ago when conditions were different. I'd like to change that software. And we're finding ways to turn on genes that protect us from disease and cancer, turn off genes that promote disease. The fat insulin receptor gene says, hold every calorie in your fat cells, because you don't know, the next hunting season may not be very good. That was a good idea 1,000 years ago, but I'd like to tell my fat insulin receptor gene, you don't need to do that anymore. That's coming. We've actually done that in animals.
Muita gente considera a singularidade uma espécie de religião e diz que você é um profeta. Como é que você lida com isso?
Saying that it's just a religion is a form of criticism that's basically invalid, because religion as we know it is based on faith, not on science. This is based on science. However, religion was an attempt to answer valid questions like, why are we here? What are we supposed to do? What is life all about? What does death mean? And it originated in pre-scientific times. It wasn't just that it wasn't scientific, there was no science when the major religion started. We now know quite a bit about the world, and I think we need to update our philosophies. The questions that religion addresses are valid questions, and we can now begin to try to answer them with more scientific insight.
O que você quer dizer quando fala que Deus está para ser criado?
Well, you might think that the major religions are all very different. I actually grew up in what was called a Unitarian church, where we thought all the religions were equally good, and so we studied all the different religions, and we called it many paths to the truth. They're all talking about the same world, same reality. And if you look at what religions say about, for example, God, they all have very similar things to say. God is all-knowing. God is infinitely creative. God is infinitely intelligent. God represents unlimited beauty and love. Well, what do we see happens in an evolutionary process? We see first in biological evolution, then technological evolution, entities become more knowledgeable, more intelligent, more creative, more capable of higher level emotions like love. So they're growing actually exponentially in these very qualities that have been attributed without limit to God. Not becoming infinite, because even exponential growth doesn't become infinite, but it's growing, it's exploding in the direction of greater levels of these qualities. We are becoming more godlike by growing in these ways of having greater knowledge, greater creativity, greater intelligence. So you can say that evolution, including technological evolution, is a spiritual process, and they were becoming more like God in terms of God being expressed as an ideal of unlimited levels of beauty and love and creativity.
Esse último passo da singularidade, ele parece muito com o conceito religioso do uno.
Well, right now, we imagine a universe as like a big clockwork mechanism that works through the laws of physics and cosmology, and cosmologists argue, is the world going to, it's expanding right now, is it going to then contract and there's going to be a big crunch, just like the Big Bang, only in reverse, or the star is going to continue to fly apart, ultimately die out, so the world will end in ice. And nowhere in this discussion has anybody mentioned intelligence. Intelligence is irrelevant as far as almost all cosmology is concerned. It's just a little sideshow that has nothing to do with the destiny of the universe. I disagree with that. Our intelligence is expanding. Already we can do planet-wide engineering. I believe we'll do solar system-wide engineering ultimately, and then galaxy-wide engineering. Ultimately, we'll do universe-wide engineering. We'll turn the matter and energy in the universe, some of it, into computational material, and the universe will become a giant computer which will be capable of thinking far greater than our human-machine civilization today. I mean, that's the ultimate destiny. So if you talk about cosmology, where the universe is headed, even if it takes a long time, that's what it's headed towards. The universe waking up and actually being able to think. And so intelligence is not some little show on the side. It is the central issue in the future of the universe.
Como é que eu posso saber que o senhor é um humano de verdade e não um robô com inteligência artificial?
Well, I mean, I think realistically we don't have robots that are as flexible and supple and intelligent as people. And maybe I do seem like a robot to some people, but I think we will get there. I think by 2029 we'll have artificial intelligence that is as convincing as people. And then they'll be able to combine human-like intelligence with the ways that computers are already better than we are. I mean, no human can do what Google does, and no human can translate languages or do the mathematical things that computers can do. Computers can, once they learn something, they can remember it with perfect recall. We'll combine those forms of intelligence with the human-like intelligence, and we will benefit from them. We'll put them inside our bodies and brains to make ourselves healthier and smarter. We're going to merge with that technology. It's not an alien invasion from Mars. We create these tools to make ourselves better, and that's not a new story, because we are already smarter and healthier than we were 1,000 years ago.
Nosso programa fica por aqui. E não se esqueça de dar as suas sugestões para o Globo News Ciência e Tecnologia. Até a próxima semana.